Okay, day 365, part 3. So Inter-America, the program I was talking about that RAO Speedwagon of Boss came in on, the one that Hasib Rana, I think, came into the United States on, I think Atif, I think Ahmad, and all the Awans, and Natalia Sova, and all the rest, I think are going to come in through a program called Inter-America, which later becomes iConstituent down on M Street, where I've been several times filming. So just change one letter to the joke name inside here, which is Enter America, and it's a way to enter America. And through this is where I'm really going to introduce the concept of visa kickbacks. Visa kickbacks. The reason why we're getting so much kicking back at us, the reason why there's so much kicking back is because they're getting kickbacks. It's more subtle than you would think. It's not just an outright kickback, but for every immigrant they bring in, they get a job, there's a bounty behind them, or a number. I think it's $50,000 for the senator. I think it's going to be $50,000 in kind to the representative. But the idea is, if you bring them in, make them an intern, get them a job, so forth, they can pay their bounty and on you go. You want to keep rotating people through. Once people come here and get their experience, mainly in the IT area, also in the medical area, but IT especially as far as Enter America or Inter-America is concerned, you want to keep rotating them through because you want to keep getting $50,000 every year or every 2 years. And you want as many as possible. So when you are trying to understand this whole thing, how could this possibly happen and how could these people be resisting? There's these 6 people, 160,000, these 22 businesses, these 12 mortgages, these 12 houses, these bad loans, all this spying going on, soldiers dying, you know, getting surprised in all these different theaters of war. How could this possibly be occurring? Well, the reason is because of the visa kickback scheme. Not everybody participates in it, but the Inter-America records are going to tell the whole story. That's why the Blackberries are there. The problem with bringing people in that are operatives, that have been intelligence operatives in other countries, they're a tool of the DOD. They're a tool of, if by extension, the CIA, and we don't know what they're doing. The CIA has this nasty habit of doing these DynCorp things, like rat lines. So you're selling your soul in a way when you take the kickback, and you don't want to know anything beyond the person you brought in. I love immigrants. I brought in immigrants. I got my $50,000 per head, and I don't want to know because they don't want to know because of what happens. Those people at CIA and DOD are not bringing them in just for fun. They're bringing them in because they're profit centers. They're profit makers. The men, initially, the Africans got brought in. The West Africans got brought in for the car theft rings in New York. You know, you can just see it. It's just the metadata is everywhere. The kids, the girls from Central America got brought in as kind of sex slaves. We have Imran beating people at 3 different houses. We don't know that there's not sex slaves at those different houses. We don't know that the guys aren't doing car theft. He does know Alpha Jola at that Manitoba address, and there are beatings near that Manitoba address in Lachine. You just have to look at this data. You have to look at the history. You can't ignore it, okay? And then you have to say, how do you unwind this thing? How does this whole thing get unwound? The only way to unwind it is to stop the spy ring in Congress. The only way to unwind it is to get those records for Inter-America, see who came in, who got the kickbacks and so forth. And that's why you need to send your congressman that notice letter. You can find it at day 358. Send your congressman that notice letter. You can find it on several other days as well. Just send him that letter, put him on notice saying, hey, you're going to be testifying. You don't understand. You're going to be testifying. Sooner or later, there will be a tipping point. Right now, there's more people that are afraid, and then there's a whole bunch of people who don't have anything to lose. Yes, Imran Awan has dirt on everybody, and that's what they're threatening people with. But at some point, as the election gets closer and closer, people are going to say, this isn't worth it. Let's just go ahead and have hearings. There is going to be hearings. There are going to be hearings. That is a fait accompli. The best thing to do now, if you're a senator or a congressman that didn't take kickbacks, is to get in front of this. Don't wait to be run over by the train. That's the key here. There are going to be hearings. Send that email to your congressman. Get that stuff. Put them on notice. Make sure those Inter-American records are preserved.